All right, guys, I finished my mud flaps. And I will tell you, the front one was very hard to do. The back one was easy. The front one, that front fender is just not meant to get a mud flap, but I got it on and it looks pretty good. So without further ado, let me show what they look like. I got a little mark there I got to touch up. That's nothing. Now we'll touch it. Oh, that was a hair. That's probably one of my dogs here. Okay. See, we even got a groove for the lace. Got it laced up. Maybe I'll hit that with another coat of super sheen. All right, now for the front one. See, I just finished actually. Front one's the same thing, guys. We got that's actually a fox turquoise. The front one, what I had to do, that's not going to focus. I had to bolt it in with, you know what? Maybe if I twist the fork, get that tire on the other side, get a better look at it. And we made these mini covers. You buy these, they're like 35 bucks. Got one on that side too. Look how nice that looks. That turquoise looks down there, guys. See, I want that. I want the fringe to drag like that. That's perfect. Perfect the way it is. No, I can't make those for anybody. So don't even ask me. It takes way, way too long to make those. If I was to make those for somebody, I'd have to charge you like a couple $100, maybe even more than that. And no one's going to ever pay that. And plus, on top of that, you have to make so many adjustments to get that front one in. That front fender trim, that chrome fender trim, that's plastic. It should be metal, but it's plastic. So I could have put the mud flap on the inside of the fender if I was able to drill 2 holes. In order to drill the 2 holes in a fender, you got to do one of 2 things. You got to either take the crash bar off or you got to take the fender off, and I didn't want to do neither. So what I had to do is I had to cut the plastic. I had to cut about a 1/2 inch of plastic off the bottom. I had to mill it. About a 1/2 inch of plastic I had to mill off the bottom of that chrome fender trim. And then there's like these little pieces of plastic inside. I had to mill those out of there too. Then the bolts, I had to cut the bolts. The bolts are only, where the nuts, the nut and bolts are only like maybe a 1/2 inch thick. So they're inside there. And I did have button heads. I actually have 2 other button head screws, which I wanted to make those all button heads instead of the bottom ones are Phillips. But I know I wanted to finish that in a hurry. And since there's a little bit of extra weight on that, that's why I made the 2 upper holes to make sure the thing doesn't come off. You know, because with the wind blow, if I'm going down a highway at a good clip, the wind's going to be blowing on that mud flap, and it just might take the thing off. That's why it has to be bolted on to the fender. So that's put together. The mud flap is inside of that plastic trim, sandwiched against. So here's the fender, here's the plastic trim, the mud flap's inside here, and it's sandwiched. It was tough to do, guys. I cut my hands up a little bit. It was real tough to get that front one on. The back one was nothing. You know, the back one you bolt from the inside of the fender, bolts right on, done deal. And the turquoise things are fake. They're fox. They're not real turquoise. I got those on Amazon. I had a JB weld them in place because the screws they gave me with those weren't long enough. So what I did was I mixed some JB weld, and I compressed it in the screw hole of the concho. That way hopefully it'll never come off. Comes off, then I got to get another one, figure something else out. So I will have to admit, it looks pretty damn good now with the fringe floorboards and those fringe mud flaps.